Winberg, Bluebird Semaphore, and this evening I'm going to do a world history. It's going to be World History for Ordinary People 19, and the topic and the subject matter will be the Far East. I've done a few of these already, and I'm going to do some more. And I believe in edition 18, I said that I was going to do a Far East project with paintings of my own, similar to what I did with the Silk Road project. So I want to put those up right here in the beginning, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Far East. So here we go, paintings for the Far East project, and there's going to be 4 today, and there will be more. I know the name of the 5th one. I'll share that with you after we show these. So this first one is Shanghai No More, and I hope you can see it, but I'm doing the best I can. Shanghai No More. This is the second one, and this is called Foreign Lady. And here comes the third. This is called Silk Costumes of the Far East. And the last for so far, and the 4th that I've done so far, this is Chinese Lanterns East Lake, or Chinese Lanterns on East Lake. Now, the 5th one that I've already named, and I have the canvas ready, but I got tied up a lot this recently, so I didn't start it, but it will be called the Yin and Yang of the Far East. That being said, I just will comment, and it could be a lead into discussion 19. The last painting I showed you was the Chinese Lanterns East Lake, or above, or on East Lake. I have to look at my notes to see what I'm actually going to call that, but it's definitely Chinese Lanterns and East Lake. So the question is, why East Lake? Well, East Lake is a pretty famous lake in China, although I believe they're calling it Tai now, Tai Lake. Many, many, many name places in China have been given new names, or maybe their historical names have been resurrected. So East Lake, from what I can see on maps, is now Tai, Tai Lake. And why is it important? Well, the Chinese people needed a connection, a transportation connection between the South and the North, and they needed it before the Common Era. They needed it 500, 600 BC, and they probably started to know they needed it even before then. But the dates that I'm getting is they started building the beginnings of the Grand Canal in like 500 BC, 600 BC. And they did it in little pieces, just like they did the Great Wall. But it looks like they took advantage of already there big piece of waterway that we call the East Lake for part of this canal. And this canal would be somewhere inland. This Lake, East Lake, is somewhere inland from Shanghai and other places. But from what I saw recently, it's actually within the city limits of a city in China that's pretty much on a map today, big time. Wuhan, with this virus controversy, I'm pretty sure that it emanated from Wuhan, and East Lake is within the city limits of that place, and it's a very large lake. There's no doubt about it, but it's been damaged environmentally. I mean, extraordinary damage because all the industrial and residential waste went into that lake, and it's basically damaged. It's a very, very damaged lake. And unlike, and I'm sure that a lot of the canal is filled with that waste and what have you. But anyway, historically important. And when you read Chinese histories and other things, I don't want to say novels, but maybe novels, not necessarily Chinese novels, but maybe let's say an espionage novel or something. You're reading something and they mention East Lake. East Lake gets talked about a lot in literature, and it is an important part of the history of the world because it is a large building block for the Grand Canal, which afforded China the ability to have rapid transportation between South China and Northern China. Now, the fact that I brought up the fact that the East Lake is not called East Lake, it's called TAI. Perhaps I can inject a little bit of what goes on with the giving Romanized names to Chinese places. And so, as an example, Peking recently is now Beijing. So what's going on is there's two characters that represent this city. And there's three ways of pronouncing and spelling it. One is the postal, one is a hyphenated name, English names, and another is the Pinyin way of saying what those two characters are. The characters don't change. It's just the way it's referred to in English. Okay? So for those two characters now, you will always see almost universally Beijing. You'll no longer see Peking. In the postal and the other one, it was Peking. Now it's Beijing. And how that came about was pretty much after the Cultural Revolution, and when China became, Chinese Communist Party was running it, the People's Republic of China. They made it so that these names now would be what they wanted, okay? And so throughout China, you have to deal with this cumbersome quality of acquiring knowledge of China, because you may look here and it'll be Wuhan, and you look over there to these Sundan or something like that. So it gets to be a little bit confusing. And quite frankly, you look at a map, Google map, and you're not going to recognize those places. Although if you were looking at maps that had the name places from, say, 1890, you would recognize these places. Or at least some, but now, who knows? You don't know them. So it makes it difficult, but not to deter anybody from reading on, because there's a lot to know about this vast region of the world. East Asia, you want to call it East Asia, you want to call it China, you call it whatever you want, but I'm calling it East Asia because we're not just going to do China, we're talking about Vietnam, we're talking about Japan, Korea, and so on and so forth. So the paintings led me to talk about the Grand Canal, which is over 1,000 miles. It is one of the largest, if not the largest, man-made rivers in the world. It's, like I said, it's over 1,000 miles. And if you look at it, it really looks like a river. You know, you see the boats going up and down, looking like they're on a river. And quite a feat to build that. There wasn't much of a drop. I think the highest elevation is about 130 feet, 137 feet, and it goes down to sea level. And it goes further south than East Lake. East Lake was just a piece that they could take advantage of and go through, you know, similar to what was attempted or did get done in the Panama Canal. You know, there was a lake there, and they said they were going to use that lake as part of the route. And the idea of Chinese lanterns over these lakes is a very romantic part of Chinese history. And they still do it. I mean, I think I see videos of them launching Chinese lanterns now. They put a candle in them and they fly up in the sky. I don't know if it was always like that, but you know, it's dark and you're on the water and you have these pretty lanterns. Very nice. But I came across the reference, and it may have been in one of Pearl S. Buck's novels, Good Earth, or one of those novels she wrote. May have been. I'm not saying it was. It could have also been Somerset Maugham. He had a few based in China. But the profitable businessman would get a little bit of relaxation by going down to the water's edge of one of these lakes. Could have been East Lake, could have been some other lake. But he would go down there, and at the restaurant along the lake, he would bargain with the proprietor, and the proprietor would set him up with a boat and a dinner served on the boat, the oarsmen supplied with the boat, and entertainment. The entertainment would be a young lady playing musical instruments, and of course the boat would be lit with lanterns, and they'd sail across that lake, and the businessman could relax and calm down, and his busy, hectic day could come to a graceful close. Now, how's that for recreation? I think it beats going to an amusement park, you know, and getting roller coasted, gliding across a beautiful lake, nice lighting, melodic sounds in the air. Nice. Sometimes during the history of humans, they knew how to live, but unfortunately, those days are gone. And I'm gone. I'm stepping away now. It was a brief discussion. I just wanted to briefly introduce the new project, the East Asia project, show you how it's going, and talk a little bit about East Lake and the canals and the Chinese lanterns, which to the day I die, I'll always love Chinese lanterns. Okay, folks, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.